Time for our Green and Gold update. Normally we do this at 4 o'clock, but today with all the stuff coming on at American Family Field, I'm not going to have a chance to do that. I want to play some Brewer stuff before we get to Joe Bartel of Fan and RotoWire Fantasy Sports at 4:20 for fantasy football. So Ryan Wood joins us now. Press-Gazette Packers beat writer. Follow him on Twitter. Ryan Wood joins us on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. Mr. Ryan Wood, how the heck are you?
It's Friday, man. Friday the bye week. I'm great. I just want to make clear here. You are planning to stay away from the game entirely tomorrow and then watch it all as if it were live on record later tomorrow night.
Right, which means I'm going to have to stay off of Twitter from about 1 o'clock until the time I get done watching the game.
I was going to say I'm a pro at this because, I mean, everyone knows I'm a fairly significant Mets fan, and I watch a lot of the games just like that. Stay off Twitter.
When do they play tomorrow?
2026. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I come here in peace.
You're so mean. Yeah.
Because I'm actually okay with this because my kids are huge Brewers fans, right? So I can actually, instead of beating up on their team, I can watch and enjoy their team with them. I am fully on the Brew Crew train here. I come in peace, and I met with that.
Oh, tell me something. Tell me something. So last year when Alonso crushed your children and they were crying tears, were you dancing and celebrating around them when it happened?
I was there when it happened. I was at Game 3 on my own. I was there.
Oh, so the kids weren't with you?
No, I went by myself. I went down to Game 3, and I treaded lightly around the oldest after that. I didn't rub it in. There's no salt in the wound, but I didn't feel bad either.
So last night, we have a Cub Scout den meeting. My 9-year-old and his dad, there's like, I don't know, 12, 13 of them, whatever. We're at a park. They had pickleball or whatever. I get there at the very end, and I tell him that, the Cubs won the game, so now you have to play the Brewers. He's a Cubs fan and starts singing "We Are the Champions" in front of all the parents and all the kids about his Cubs. So you want to talk about what's going to be an unbearable deal in our household going forward with this series? Oh, buddy.
Oh, I've been there. Been there with Pacers Bucks, been there with Mets Brewers. I'm actually kind of relieved not to be there again. The other thing, though, I hate the Cubs, man. I absolutely loathe the Chicago Cubs. I grew up in North Central Indiana, which is not Illinois, even though Cubs fans in Indiana don't seem to understand that. So I grew up with all this annoying Cubs nonsense. And so I am fully on the Brewers train here.
All right. So quickly here, just a little Packer talk to squeeze some Packer talk in here before we go back to the Brewers. Here from Christian Yelich coming up at 3 o'clock. Matt Arnold, Mark Attanasio, Andrew Vaughn, a bunch of people to hear from today. I want to get your thoughts on this bye week, because I just saw the press release come out that, they're going to have a practice on Monday and there'll be some players available on Monday and so forth. When it's later in the season, I feel like, okay, maybe you can make an adjustment here or there and really make a difference to finish out a season. When you're here in week 5, okay, you can still make an adjustment here or there. It's going to last for, 3, 4, 5 games, maybe that long before the rest of the league catches on, and then you're going to have to figure out something else. But I feel like there has to be a significant change with how they decide to stop the run if Devontae Wyatt's not going to be around.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a significant thing. But I do think more than any one schematic change, the reason why this week 5 bye comes at the right time is because where they've been the past couple of weeks.
Right.
This is a team with elite talent that's not playing elite. And Matt LaFleur obviously made a point to say that the bye week, the best part of this bye week coming now is getting health. It's called health. They need it. Offensive line, Devontae Wyatt, they need health. But there's also another word he dropped, which was reset. And I do think the timing of this bye gives them a very important chance to reset, which is something I think they need, considering the past 2 weeks they found every other way not to win. And that can't happen. This team's not supposed to be in that mode anymore. And yet, past couple of weeks, that's where we found them. So this is a chance to reset. They need to reset. I think that's more than any one great schematic change or adaptation.
Talking with Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Packers beat writer. He joins us here on The Fan. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube, and you can see Ryan Wood's pretty face there. The other part about this is something that John Kuhn brought up yesterday that I was not aware of. on 9 to noon with Kuhn with Rami Makloff. He was talking about Romeo Dobbs. They were talking about this report that maybe they're talking about extension or broaching the idea. I believe it's how it was worded with Romeo Dobbs. And he was telling the story to make Romeo Dobbs look good, which is fine. But I didn't know the part of the story that he mentioned, which was apparently in the fourth quarter of that game, Dontavian Wicks was steaming mad about something, threw his helmet on the sidelines, refused to go back in for a couple of plays. Then there was a timeout. Dobbs went over to the sideline, said, dude, we need you. Get back in here. And then he convinced him to go back in there and play. I hadn't heard that story or what led to it. But then it got me to thinking, and we talked about it yesterday, like, hey, man, we can all like these receivers, but eventually they're all going to need to get paid. And if dudes are open and he ain't throwing them the ball, love that is, you're going to have probably more of this as we go here, as these contracts are coming closer and closer to the end of their deals.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing that too. Obviously, Kuhn has a tremendous vantage point, different.
Yeah, on the sideline.
Yeah. On the sidelines, I'm all the way up in the high corner end zone press box, but this is not a new problem. This has been Romeo Dobbs got suspended a year ago,
right?
Week 5 for not showing up to practice because reportedly he was upset with his role in the offense. There is one pigskin, and there's a whole lot of mouths to feed on that offense. So this is not a new problem. And even still, like their solution to try to ease the stress on that scenario is to spread the love, spread the wealth. It's an egalitarian passing game. 10 pass catchers got a target, got a catch in Dallas. But I still wonder how long term how viable that is, because as they've progressed, they haven't all progressed at the same pace. I said it last week with you, right? Tucker Kraft's the best player on this offense. He needs to be touching the football every single drive, and that's his words. I mean, he's right. And you saw it in Dallas when they had their best drives. Who was catching the ball? It was Tucker Kraft, right? So just because you have a lot of talent doesn't mean that it's all the same talent, and you do need to emphasize your top playmakers as a priority in the passing game. But you also need to keep everyone involved, and it's not a new problem. It's not one I see going away anytime soon.
You know, Ryan, the other part of this is the offensive line. You know, you're hoping Zach Tom and Belton and Banks are healthy and able to play. Can you put these in order from what you know? Obviously, you have no idea how the recovery is going currently on a bye week. But if you were a guessing man, as far as in order of return of these three, who's the closest, and then 3 being the farthest away?
Well, we just don't know, because Banks is a groin and Tom is an oblique, and these are soft tissue injuries, and soft tissue injuries can take some time, and they're not all the same. So I'm not going to insult you trying to guess something I have no idea. I'll tell you in order, though. Zach Tom is the guy that they need to get back on the field sooner than later. That's the right tackle. They need him back. But who's going to be back first? I don't know, man. I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, I'll take a shot at it because I don't care. I'll guess that the first one back is Belton. The second one back is probably going to be. See, this is where it gets tough. I'll guess that it's Banks and then Tom, and I'm really hoping that is the case, if we're being honest, because I've seen enough oblique injuries in my life in sports to where it can be an issue throughout an entire season and wreck a person's year. So I'd rather them play conservative with Zach Tom and not risk re-injuring this or getting it worse by rushing him back too soon. But I would think Belton, based on it happening on Thursday last week or whatever, I would imagine Belton probably has a good chance of being back against Cincinnati, and the other 2, maybe not.
Yeah, the other 2 are soft tissue. So, the interesting with Zach Tom is that Matt LaFleur did say after that game in Cleveland, where Zach Tom played 1 snap, that he did not have a setback. It was not a re-aggravation. He did not make it worse. So we'll see. We'll see, right? Because if it's another few weeks, then I don't know how you don't call that a setback.
I'm on YouTube shaking my head. That's why Ryan Wood kind of started smiling as I was shaking my head. I don't believe that at all. Ryan Wood, thank you so much for coming on. What does one do on a weekend without the Packers?
I'm looking forward to just watching some football, watching little Brewers baseball. It's nice. I would like it to be another 5 weeks. I'm still a little fresh. It's going to be a long haul after this bye, but you got to take advantage of it when it comes.
Yeah, and this team needs it, especially with Christian Watson. Is there a chance he plays, do you think?
Play, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to play against Cincinnati, but I think there's a very good chance that he starts practicing next week, and that will accelerate his window to get back on the field. I think it might take a couple weeks. I mean, he hasn't played football in over a year, so he's not going to play the first week he practices, but week 2 he practices, week 3 at the latest. It's coming soon.
Oh, thank God. All right, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care.
There he is, Ryan Wood, joining us right there on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all.